Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for today's Manifestation Mondays. Yes, we're going to stick with this one, I suppose. Anywho, I'm Priscilla Baydu, and thank you so much for joining me today. So, today we are going to move on to a tool, a manifestation process that is very near and dear to my heart, and it's called scripting. Before I jump into the joys of scripting, I just want to mention, because I didn't mention in the last video, and I got a few text messages that's like, okay, are you still doing coaching? You didn't mention any of that. And yes, I am still doing coaching. It is over on my website, actually, and it is called thespiritualcoach.com. Also, if you want to gander at my IG, it is also at the same moniker, The Spiritual Coach. So that's THEE Spiritual Coach over on IG. But anyway, let's get back to it. We're going to talk about scripting today and why I feel like it is the second easiest aside from just assuming. And here's why. With scripting, you're able to use your imagination and write it out the way you want to see it happen. So it's kind of like creative writing for manifestation, if you will, but it's such a fun way of doing it. Now, there's multiple ways you can do scripting. You can do it as if you're doing a diary entry. You can do it in the most popular way, the 369 method, which I will get into in this video today, and also writing it as if it's a memory. Let's get into it. So, out of the three that I mentioned, my favorite by far is journaling as if it already happened. It let me use kind of my imagination, and also I don't have to get into a lot of specifics when I'm doing this. And I feel that sometimes when we're not getting into heavy specifics, it really helps us to manifest things, I don't want to say faster, but more effectively, because we're tuning into the feeling aside from the stuff per se. Now, don't get me wrong, you're going to mention the stuff. You're absolutely going to mention it. But it just gets us, I feel like it gets us into a vibration of having it even further, because it's not saying that we want it, we want it, we want it. It's almost saying that we already had it and now we're just reporting back from the joy of having it. So, what does this look like? So, for me, I remember wanting to go to a particular conference, and I knew I had $0 to get there. $0 there. And as the time was getting a little closer, and I still had $0 to get there, I had not one but two offers to buy my plane ticket to make sure I got there. Complete with when I got there, I had accommodations to stay, and I had transportation the whole time I was there. Now, when I did my scripting, I pretty much wrote it as a memory of how much fun I had, how much people I met, all the great food I had. It was quite nuts, but I allowed myself to write it out in a Dear Diary format. Now, don't get me wrong, that was a very risky situation I was in, right? But I allowed myself to feel a little better through my writing. And through my writing, I was able to feel a little more confident, in the ways that maybe I wouldn't have had I just assumed it, because at that point in my journey, I was not adept at assuming at all. All right, not at all. So I needed this to help me a little bit to actually not just visualize, but actually have the good feelings, because in my mind, in my script, I already was there. I already did it. I already experienced it, and I was back home. Right? And it actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would. So, yay for scripting. Now, here's another way of scripting, and this is the 369. The 369 method is a very popular scripting method, and it's gained quite a popularity, and I believe it's because it's repetitiveness, right? So 369 is pretty much you have a set of things a list per se, that you want to script, right? That you want to come to pass. So the whole concept is you write it 3 times in the morning, 6 times in the afternoon, and then 9 times at night before you go to bed. But I didn't come up with this, but I found a better way of doing this. And shout out to Tom Karen over at Be Something Wonderful, because what I'm going to share with you next totally revolutionized the way I have done the 369 method. So Tom recommends that you write down your I guess desire that you want to manifest. You write it out, and then you go back and read it to yourself. The first morning 3 times, in the afternoon you read it back 6 times, and the last time you read it back 9 times. Instead of writing it out continuously, he recommends that you read it out loud to yourself. Me being who I am, I found a different way to do it, of course. So, what I did, and maybe this isn't for everyone, maybe you like to write things down over and over again. Maybe it gives you a feeling of it being more real and more tangible. What I like to do is very different. So, when I practice the 369 method, I work smarter, not harder. I'm a Taurus. We like to do things a little easier. So we will do the heavy lifting of the foundational things just so we can have it easier moving forward. So what I like to do is I will voice record me reading the desires out loud. So I will voice record myself doing it 3 times, another recording doing it 6 times, and another recording doing it 9 times. And when those allotted times come, those specified times that I've put aside to listen to my desires and to remind myself what it is that I am bringing into fruition, I will go back and listen to 3 in the morning. I will listen to what I've marked 6 in the afternoon. And finally, I will listen to what I marked 3 at night, because, yeah, I'm not writing all of that. And now for the third way of doing scripting is kind of similar to what you would do if you're doing a new moon intention, right? You're writing it out in a narrative, how you see it going, how you would want it to go, step by step, in a story form, right? So it's a little different than recalling it as a memory. You're pretty much writing it out as you would like it to come. So think about it as, yes, I would like to gain 3 new followers, right? Oh, yes, these 3 new followers are going to be engaging on my page. They're going to leave comments, and they're going to be so great, and they're going to push me to do even more. So along those lines. This method is really great if you love creative writing, if you love just being able to use your imagination in your writing. This one will probably be the best. It's not my favorite, but it don't have to be not your favorite. So just go ahead and give it a try and let me know how it worked. Let me know, which one did you enjoy most doing? Was it, writing it as past tense, like a journal entry? Maybe it was a 369 method, whichever way you chose to do it. Or maybe it's just future visioning and just writing it out in steps of how you want it to come to you. So that is our introduction to scripting. I want to go more in depth into each of these. So let me know if that's something that you would like to see. Let me know in the comments. Until next time, bye.